Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Snap Decisions. I, of course, am your Snap DJ, your host with the most. And again, as it always seems to be, on a Tuesday, we have a lot to talk about. The patch went out today. Oh, man. We did get some good news. There's Character Mastery coming soon, and a lot of previews of that in the data mines. We got to see the new cards for the Captain America set, which is coming. So we got some good news, but we also got some bad news, and I'll go over that in just a little bit. But welcome in, guys. I appreciate you, as always, listening to the show or checking it out, however you may be checking it out. Now, I have a special surprise for you guys today. The theme song that you guys have been so accustomed to seeing prior to my show coming on every single week, or listening to, rather, every single week, of course, by my good friend and musician, Elevate the Sky, who is now since doing other projects, and he's doing some other stuff, different kind of music and stuff like that. Just did a song called Wicked, which is for, of course, the new movie. So he's been trying out some different things, doing some different stuff. As you know, good musicians will do that. They will switch around and try to find some different things to do every now and then. But check him out. He's a great dude. I've known him for a while, and he's been so kind enough to let me use that song. Well, I today am going to show you guys the actual video that goes along with this song. Now, I've shared it in some places and things like that. But we're going to watch this little video here together to start the show. So audio listeners, you're going to hear the entire song, so bear with me. Now, you don't hear the whole thing in my intro. That's only a little like a cut from it. The song is about 4 minutes long, so bear with me on audio, but you're going to get to hear the whole official song by my friend Elevate the Sky, called Superhero. So I'm going to play it for you right now. Those watching on audio or on YouTube will get to see it. And this was given me permission, of course, by Scott to use the song, but also the company that makes this video has also allowed me to use it. So thanks go out to both of them for allowing me to use this. So here it is. This is Elevate the Sky and Superhero.
It's a dark night in Gotham City. Maybe Metropolis is meant for me. My sovereign heart still beats behind a wall of kryptonite. Where's my cape? Where's the sidekick to help me save the day? I'll catch you if you fall.
And there you go, guys. I tell you, if you ever wonder why I love this game so much, I get chills watching that video every time I do. Every time I do. I had him just now. The way that Retro Synth Records did that with the footage from what Christopher Reeve is my favorite ever Superman, favorite ever. And that scene with him flying Lois through the New York sky and the Metropolis, and the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that is breathtaking. And Scott's song just hits on all the notes. The scenes in there with Spider-Man and how he had that little pause before the guitar solo with Spider-Man jumping off the bridge to save MJ or Gwen Stacy. It is MJ. And again, gives me chills. This is stuff that I read in comic books growing up. And, seeing Gwen pushed off that bridge and dying was devastating to me when I read that. I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. And so this is why I love this game so much. This is why I like this stuff so much. This is why all this stuff it just pushes all the buttons. And I'm so thrilled that Scott let me use the song, because nothing goes better with my show than that song. And I'm glad. And thank you so much for Retro Synth Records for allowing me to use that video also. I'm forever grateful for that. I know that it has footage in from the movies and stuff, but they had it in their original video and they were kind enough to let me use that. So I wanted to share that with you guys because that is the entire song. And by the way, the ending of it, oh my God, he got a children's choir to sing that with him, which is just gorgeous. The children singing at the end, the fly away part, again, just chills. Like when a song is done right and done well, holy does it work. And this, just for what I do here and for my show and for the genre and what it's like to be a fan of this superhero stuff and this geek stuff, as a lot of people refer to it as, and the superhero stuff itself is just absolutely amazing. And nothing epitomizes it like that video does. So again, thank you so much to Scott, and I'm playing with my settings here. And obviously Retro Synth Records too, for allowing me to do that and use that amazing video. I'll be forever grateful. And it is here, so I can play that. Scott is going to join me, by the way, on an episode of this. And we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the song a little bit. So it's kind of like when Snap gets like developers on and they talk about things like that. I'm going to go through the song with him and just, we're going to talk about where he got his where he came up with this, how he came up with the song, where what the lyrics were for him, and learn all about what the making of the song was from Scott at some point. So he's going to be on a special episode of Snap Decisions with me coming up. So, but thanks for and the audio listeners, you got to hear the full song, and the choir part of it is just killer. The fact that he had a children's choir sing that with him, and it was about superheroes, and these young kids are singing "Fly Away" is tremendous, amazing. So. Thanks so much for indulging me there. It's kind of, this is what I do. This is why I was a DJ. I love music, and I'm happy to have music that is so good and so into the genre that I talk about here as that one is. So, all right, I am part of the Snap Decisions, Snap Judgments Network, of course, with so many other amazing podcasts to peeps, and your one-stop shop for all the things podcasting. We have How Can She Snap with the Kid and No Big Deal, Baby. Are on, of course, How Can She Snap every single Sunday, trying to get those guys back on, but the kid's got so much going on with his work schedule, and he has other things happening, so we'll see. I'll have them on again. We'll get together, I promise. Snap on This with Ree and Lauren and Ben Roller. Such a fun podcast, one of the most fun podcasts I've ever listened to, not just outside of Snap, but all together. And then, of course, the Snap Judgments Pod with Glazer and Roy. Glazer, just amazing worker for this game and does so many awesome things. And now he's streaming too. Now, where he gets the time, I don't know, but check all of these amazing podcasts out every single week. You will see them. Now, as far as I go, I've got my stuff coming out with, of course, Nick the Greek Geek. Him and I just filmed like a little preview, which will be out sometime soon. And we previewed all of the new variants and the season passes and stuff like that from the Captain America series. So that's coming out. And then also we'll have our Two Dude Snapping episode coming out as well for you. So they'll be out. I will also be back on Thursday to do an OTA review because we will be getting an OTA, and it's the last one for this year. So I'll be talking about that as well on Thursday. Probably be something that'll just maybe even tonight, says Nick, who's in the chat. So there you go. Might be out a little bit later tonight, depending on if Nick can get it done. And hey, that's hard work that he does for all of these. So I would never, ever think to rush Nick doing that. That's very difficult work, and I'm just glad that I don't have to do it. Nick is amazing at that stuff. So, but yeah, so check that out. That is coming up this coming week. I don't think I have any guests. I may, I'm still trying to get Red Eye Jedi on here. Me and him just can never work out our schedules. I know I seemingly say that every week, but we both have weird work schedules. So it'll happen eventually. I know it will. All right. So, and then, of course, there is my logo right there with the little SJN network. All right, guys, it's time for the DJ spin. And the spin today, unexpectedly, is going to be on the breaking news that we've got here. And we had some today. Of course, we have the new patch that came out today as well. So we'll talk about the patch notes. We'll read those out here. Patch notes for December 10th. Patch highlights including introducing the Super Premium Season Pass. Launch with the upcoming Dark Avenger season, so that will be in January. Renamed from Premium Plus to Super Premium. Updated purchase screen. Increased the price, because of course they did. It goes from $14.99 to $19.99, so $20. I'm going to have to see what this is going to all include, because that's $5 more than the 15 seems maybe a little steep for me, but I'll see what I'll see. It includes instant 10-time season pass levels already included in the Premium Plus. You get 3 times borders, so you're going to get more borders, and you get an one-time exclusive super rare variant. So basically it's borders and a variant that you are going to get from this. I don't know. I know people have been have complained about it being that it's going to cost more. Just so you all know, I'm not thrilled with the price either. I think 20 is $5 more than 15, but when you're looking at it from a standpoint of realism, it's a little under maybe 3/4 of a tank of gasoline in your car. So 15 to 20, you think it's just a little $5 price, but it's $20. And that's a price you're going to have to pay now if you want to get that every single month. And 20 times 12 adds up. That's a lot of money. So we'll see. I'll see what it looks like. By the way, that is only going up to 100 caches now to open. 100 caches and it stops. I didn't even realize they did that already because I haven't gotten over 100 in the last couple of months. I usually do. But that is not going to be a thing anymore. That is now finished. So that goes to 100 and stops. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. The series drops happened as well with the patch. And they have the same notation here that they had before. While these series drops will help many players along their journey, it is not intended to fix the core issues we are all feeling around card acquisition. The team remains focused on a larger long-term solution. I hope that's very soon. We're planning for an even bigger series drop in the first quarter of 2025, which could be March, which is faster than our previous series drop schedule. So I'm not going to talk about that. It's been talked about at length on other podcasts and stuff like that. So I'm not going to mention any more of that. General updates. Season pass caches are now capped at season pass level 100. I said that. Having unlimited season pass levels caused a niche issue that encouraged exploitative behavior. How the hell did that happen? I can't even imagine what that would be. Over 99% of players won't be impacted by this change. This change was implemented in a previous patch, but was missed in the patch notes. And then return to normal infinity split rates. So split miss is over. When Character Mastery debuts, date to be announced. Split rates will again be changing alongside a slew of updates to how you can better customize your favorite cards, including many finishes and flares. So Mastery hopefully will come soon. They did say could possibly be in December. I'm kind of thinking it's probably going to be January, but we'll see. If they do surprise me with that in December, I will be pretty happy with that. But yes, so That is the patch notes from today. So not that big of a deal, not very much at all. Just a raise in price of the season pass, and some changes made to that, and then of course the series drops, which we all know everybody's thoughts on that. So we'll see. All right. So the rest of my spin today is so I would recommend you guys go and listen, if you don't already, listen to the KM Best podcast that he did, his 8 Cubes podcast that he normally does with Lambie series. He did with Binks. I watched it yesterday. I watch it every week, so it's nothing new that I watched it, but listen to their show and listen to especially the ending. If you don't want to listen to the entire thing, listen to the last 10, 15 minutes. And I'm going to tell you why. I heard them both talking about, it's basically like what's next in Snap, or what's up in Snap and stuff like that. And they both went through the pain points. They both talked about the pain points. They talked about the lack of a new mode in the game. And both, hopefully, Binks is anticipating draft and really wants a draft mode. Oh, they extended Splitmas for another week. Okay, so it's not done yet. It's going on for one more week. Thanks, Nick. But they talked about that. They talked about some of the cards in the game, and they talked about Arishem. And I was spouting off about Arishem the last couple of weeks, but sometimes when you hear somebody else talk about it who's a prominent creator, it makes you kind of change your mind on things a little bit. And I agreed with his point. There are some good points to keeping Arishem in the game. And while I was spouting off about it and talking about it, guess what card got me to Infinite? You guessed it, Arishem. I was playing KM Best's Arishem deck, and it got me to Infinite this month. And I got to Infinite earlier than I ever did. So I had to come out with a public apology and just kind of state that I was having an old man moment, which I have at times. And so I kind of am going to back off that. And I don't really think it is going to be changed with the OTAs. I was pretty certain it would be. I don't think it will. Because I saw their points with that. But the one thing I will point out, and that I loved so much about the video, is how they both kept it very positive about this game. And you're not hearing that much anymore. You're really just not. It's so much negativity. And I'm not just going to blame it on Twitter, because Twitter is what it is. And everybody's going to be negative there no matter what. But, there's so much negativity around this game right now. And there's going to be more after today, because the patch notes and stuff like that, people are going to be mad about the increase in price on the season pass. And they're going to be mad because the series drops happen in it. But I heard Binks talk about it and say how much he loved this game. And I'll tell you, mad respect to him for doing that. Because I talk about that every week on here. Every week. And Binks just said it's so well done and so well made that he believes it is the best card game out there right now. The best type of game like this out there right now. And you know what? I can't argue with him. I agree. I think it is as well. And he mentioned Pokemon. And he said about Pokemon, he hopes that Pokemon lights a fire under their collective asses, and that they get in gear and they start coming out with some of this other stuff that they need to come out with and get the monetization and all that kind of stuff fixed, and card acquisition. And, he was talking about how cool it is to play Pokemon and go in and open packs. And it is. I agree with him. It is cool to open packs. That's the only thing that keeps me from deleting that app. I hate the gameplay. I think the gameplay is subpar and boring. I don't like it, but I do like going in and open packs. And I do. Every time I get up in the morning, I open packs. And every time in the afternoon when it comes due, I open a pack. So I like opening packs. Card gamers like to open packs. That's just a thing with us. We do. And so, but I love how he had said so many nice things about this game. Nice things, as opposed to there are a lot of other creators out there that aren't saying any nice things about this game right now. They're saying it sucks. It's going to end. It's going to be gone. It's doomsday for Snap. And so I appreciated that. So I would tell anybody to go and watch that video yesterday that they did together, and you'll get some positivity from one of the streamers who I think is one of the best out there in Binks. I think he's one of the tops in my books. In my book, I love what he does. I love how he does it. I love his theme song. I laugh every damn time he plays it. And KM Best is just an amazing card gamer. He's a great Magic player. He was great at Magic, and he's really good at this. And so it was great hearing that from two of the most prominent streamers that are out there, and two of the biggest representatives of this game. I even sent KM a thank you to his DMs. I don't know if he'll see it and I don't blame anybody for not reading DMs on Twitter, because it's a cesspool and God only knows what they get. Those people that are very popular probably get a gazillion of them. But I even thanked him for it. I sent it out there and thanked him for it. And because here, you know what? Let me read it, because I could bring it up here. I felt the need to do that. And I just wrote, "Hey, KM, I just wanted to message you quick and say thank you for continuing to provide great content during this rough patch for Snap. Your show with Binks today was inspiring. You both mentioned some of the issues, but kept things positive, and I can tell you both sincerely enjoy the game. Been listening to your pod since I started playing, which led me to doing my own, which is true. Thanks thanks so much for all you do. Also reading a few of my hot takes in your videos as well," which he has. He's picked a few of mine for hot takes. All the best to you and yours. So yeah, I really appreciated that. Sometimes it's great to hear some positivity from someone when everything is just negative and negative and negative and down. And that's why I like to surround myself with positive people. Nick in my chat is one of those people. Lauren and Ree and Ben and Glazer and all, I can name a bunch. But I love to hear the positivity about the game. And so as opposed to the last couple of DJ spins have been kind of negative, I wanted to start this one off and kick this one off with a positive and a place to go to listen to some positive thoughts about this game we all enjoy. And, that song I played earlier, there is no more of an explanation than that for me as doing what I'm doing. Listening to music and playing a superhero card game are two of my favorite things in the world to do right now. So, yeah. So there you go. That's my spin. It was a positive one, and I absolutely love it. So, yeah. So, because I think this is much, much needed in Marvel Snap today. And then Rivals. Let's talk a little bit about Marvel Rivals. I did download it on my PS5, and I did play it a little bit. I played the tutorial with Punisher, and I did play a little bit. I'm still, Nick and I talk, we're going to have a little discussion on this about the Two Dude Snapping, or on Two Dude Snapping that's coming up. So you'll hear our thoughts about it initially. But I did get a chance to play, and I'm still kind of sticking with my initial impression of it. It's fun. It's okay. It's really just not my kind of game. And that's not to say anything about any of the people who are playing it. If you like these kind of shooter style run with teammates kind of game, you're going to like it. It's not my thing. I've never been a big time team player, and you'll hear in our Two Dude Snapping show, you'll hear me talk a lot about World of Warcraft, because that's really one of the only times in gaming I ever played with teammates, and I ever played with a guild and other people in raids and stuff like that. It's one of the only times I've ever done that. I'm a solo player. I like RPGs, and most of the time RPGs are solo. So I like RPGs. I like storytelling games, and that's what I do. I'm not a big style gamer for these type of games. It's cool. The visuals on it are very cool. The heroes look awesome. The voiceover stuff is neat. Everything about it is cool. It's just not my kind of game, and I don't see myself playing a lot of it. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's I don't like the pressure. Maybe that's what it is I don't like the pressure. It's okay for the movement thing. That doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me through the tutorial and stuff in the little bit that I played. So the movement part of it didn't bother me. I think it's only for me, it's first person movement bothers me. So that wasn't it. But I don't know. It's maybe it's the thought that I'm going to just screw up really bad and make the team lose. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Will I try it more? Maybe. I might play a little bit more here and there and kind of like, mess around with it. Is it going to be something that I play a lot? No. Is it going to be something that I would ever cover on my videos? No. And again, that's not anything against anybody else who is playing it and enjoying it and doing just that. But I don't believe that, to me, these games come along a lot. Overwatch was a big one, right? These type of games are out there a lot, right? Fortnite, you're not necessarily playing with a team, but it's a similar style in like shoot 'em up type games. You play like Call of Duty, those kind of things. I'm not into them. And so I just don't see myself getting into this very much or playing it very much because it's just not my genre of game. Now, if Rivals was an RPG, then hell yeah, I would have been playing it because I love superhero RPGs. Ultimate Alliance, loved it, loved every iteration of it, even the Switch one, which I know a lot of people didn't. I played all of them. So certainly I would play that. But this is just not my style of game, and I probably not ever going to maybe talk about it on this show at all again, I don't think, because I really won't be playing it all that much. So for those of you who are enjoying it, great. I hope you are. I hope you're all loving it. I hope you're having a fun time with it, whether you're playing with other friends or other people you know, whatever the case might be. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm saying nothing bad about it because from what I've seen, it's visually impressive. You can blow up like the buildings and stuff, which is kind of cool, and find like little paths and stuff underneath the buildings and little other places to go. So little hidden places. That's kind of neat. And I'm not saying there's a thing wrong with it. It's just not my style of game. And so, yeah, so that's my thoughts about Rivals. Not going to spend a lot of time on it here because I'm sure you can go and get your fair share of great content from other people that are playing this game a lot. Some of the other Snap players Snap creators that used to do Snap are playing it. I know Kier Nimbus, I think he's doing it. He's been on my show a few times. I know, of course, Cozy is doing it. Binks played it last night. I was watching him play. To me, and being honest, I think it's maybe a little more fun to watch than it is to play. There you go. It's just maybe my little hot take on it. I like watching people play it. I watched Binks play it last night. It was interesting. But for me, it just doesn't look like something that I'm going to be playing. So, all right. That might be it for my DJ. Yeah, so that's it for my DJ's spin for this week. So there you go. My hot takes and stuff like that. And of course, you got the patch notes and everything in there as well. All right, so we're going to move on to my weekend Snap in the Meta Report. I am an infinite gamer, folks. The fastest I have ever been. An infinite gamer in Marvel Snap. I hit it last night with the RSM deck, and I had a little ups and downs there in the 90s. I got all the way up to like 97. I was playing a game against a player playing Scream. Now, those decks can be a little tough to deal with, but I just went my usual route, and I filled the one lane with cards so that he couldn't get me in the Kingpin lane and stuff like that. And so I literally thought I had him. And had I won, because I really honestly thought that I had him beat. And I had my RSM already, or my, not RSM, I had my Eliath all ready to go. And then he just pulled off like a play that beat me by 1 point and knocked me down 4 cubes. So I went all the way back down to like 90, what was I, so 97, 93. And so then I had to climb back up again. I went down again. I went down to like 89, and I had to climb back up again. And but finally I hit it. And it is the fastest I've ever gotten there, and the lowest ranked score I've ever had. I'm in top 10,000, which I was, before that I was like 40,000, 50,000, up there. So this is the best score I've ever had and the quickest I've ever gotten Infinite. And what did I get from it? You want to know what I got from it? I'll show you. Here you go. You ready? Oh, man. Stunning, isn't it? I mean, look at that card back. Look at the stunning art, the word Rivals and the word Marvel, and just the stunning, breathtaking. Oh, that's horrible. That is the legit. And I don't think I can go back through my card backs, which I'm going to go do. I'm going to go do right now. I'm going to look at the card backs. I just went over these and I did a top 10 list of card backs. I'm going to go back and look at my card backs. And let's go back from the very, very, very beginning, right? Now, okay. Tell me that this one is not very similar to that. There's one of the OG Snap card backs with the gold in the background. I would argue this one might be better. I would argue that this one might be better. It's kind of in the form of a spider web and shattered glass. I would argue that one's better, right? I would argue that one's better. How about this? How about this one? How about that one? Just a plain old Marvel logo with black and white dots. I mean, this one is definitely better. This one here with the like the galaxy kind of aurora thing going on, that one's definitely better, right? Definitely better. Like even though it was boring, look at this one with the dinosaur claws on it. This one's better. I mean, the card back is so bad, dude. Like, why not do a card back? Like, why not do? They could have given us this one. I mean, at least this one has the character silhouettes on it. Why didn't they give us this one as the gold? I mean, what are you doing, dude? Like, this is so bad. It's the worst card back ever for hitting Infinite. The worst. The absolute worst. The worst. I mean, look at it compared to last month's. There's the cool gore with the gold and everything. I mean, it was so much cooler. This one it's awful, dude. It's terrible, man. It's just it's terrible. It's the worst one yet. But anyway, I digress. I'm at Infinite, and it's so cool when you get Infinite early because the pressure's off. I could care less about my rank. I don't care one iota. So I now could just mess around, play decks I want to play, decks that I like, mess around Conquest a little bit because I want to get, oh, by the way, you might want to play Conquest this month if you want a very cool border because there is a gift wrapping border in this, which let me see if I can pull it up. There is a gift wrap border as one of the prizes for Conquest in the Conquest shop, and it comes out next week. So man, you can see it a little bit there. You're not going to see the green because my green screen, but it's on the right hand side. It's pretty cool. It's like red and green gift wrap, wrapping paper border. They're calling it, and the America Chavez is kind of cool. I like this America Chavez, kind of neat. So I'm definitely gonna get that wrapping border because it's kind of cool. I know a lot of people don't play Conquest anymore, but I want the border. And yeah, so I did get Penny Parker today. We'll talk about her later in Comics Corner. I did end up spending 4 keys, but I kind of wanted this. There's the Gladiator. The Gladiator is really neat, and these cards look at that. His feet are sticking out of the bottom of the card, which is cool when you split it, and then his like the little X-ray vision thing he has got going on there coming out of his eyes too. Which is neat. And I did get, oh my God, I had to get Brown Sasquatch. I mean, that's Walter Langowski Sasquatch, the Brown Sasquatch. Come on, man. That's the OG. That's the OG Sasquatch right there. And then, of course, I got Penny on the 4th key, but that's all right. I had 9 keys. I had enough to spare, and I'm getting a 6th one in a minute or two. And then I got the Rian Gonzalez Galacta. So I finished out the collection track. And I got the Rian Galacta as well. So yeah, I got a Hydra Bob variant the other day. I think I might have that in my variant section though. But anyway, and so yeah. So and Penny is fun. I played her a little bit, and I got to use her in a ramp up Galactus deck, and she works quite surprisingly well in it. At one point, I had an 8-point wave moving around with her spider on it. So that was kind of neat. But yeah, so all right, let's get to it, and we'll talk about it. Here is that particular Spotlight Cash from today, and of course, Penny Parker is the card for this week. And like I said, she's pretty good. She seems pretty good. You get that spider on her, and you get that extra energy, which is always huge. It's huge getting energy in this game, and so yeah. But she's pretty good. She works well in that ramp deck that I got to try her in. I've seen other people playing her in just good cards decks. TLSG was using her in like Athena, Angela list and stuff like that. You could probably play her in almost anything, even those like the Iron Man lists that were going around there. Probably going to be fine with her in there. You're going to get to play Iron Man a little early if you get out the extra energy and stuff like that. So it's just an energy cheat card, and it's pretty good. And it's pretty good. It does move, so you get that extra added thing in there. Look, the 2 cards are kind of variable now. Jeff isn't as prominent as he used to be in the meta. So there's a lot of these 2-3 cards that are out there that are just kind of being played. And so far, Penny's pretty good. And there's the Gladiator that I got, and the Brown Sasquatch, baby. I loved it. Loved it. All right. So we're going to look at, now this is oh man, this is the album that came out today, 1200 Gold. I'm not going to cover a lot of it because Nick and I talked about it on our show. But as you can see, they're all 1200 Gold, Magic, Iron Man, Storm, that Star-Lord, Spider-Man, and Loki. These are all the Marvel Rivals variants that are in that album. Jeff, you've got Mantis, Namor, Punisher as well, and Scarlet Witch. And then this stuff up here is Zabu. These are just some of the variants. So you have Penny Parker's variant in there, the Marvel Rivals one, and then Zabu's up there also. And there's more of the Rivals variants, Venom, Doctor Doom, and then the Gladiator variants there as well. These are just all variants that we're going to be getting throughout the course of the month. You got a Marvel Rivals Thor, and then you have the new Moon Knight variant and a Shang-Chi. These are just, again, some variants that are coming out in December. There's the Doctor Strange comic book. Oh, man. I want it. I'm going to get it, and I'll never play it. But they're so cool, dude. They remind me so much of my childhood with the 70s comic book covers and the Bronze Age stuff, the Marvel Comics Group logo. I just love these. I just love it. And there it is. There was, well, that's what I was planning on showing you guys before I hit Infinite, but I am no longer at 96. I am now Infinite ranked. And there is what I was talking about with the America Chavez and the Christmas border, the wrapping paper border in Conquest. And congrats to my Alliance, man. My Alliance hit that web border. So we did get that today, as well as the personal stuff. My Alliance is kicking ass, man. Shout out to my Alliance. They're killing it. We had some people that were really, really awesome people in there. Ven, Blaze One, Propa, they're always up top there. Love Letters, The Fist, 1013, just shouting them all out. Moist Malone, Big Fat Mr. J, and Bumble, and all the rest of my amazing Alliance who continually gets those rewards, and they're doing a great job. And some of the departed people, Laura was awesome. She had to leave, unfortunately, because she got another job. But shout out to my Alliance. And if you ever want a really cool Alliance, we don't have openings all that much. But when we do, I usually let people know it is SDC, the Snap DJs Casuals. So there you go. All right, let's look at some decks, shall we? We have, of course, first, a new Hella deck. And god darn, is this hard to play. This is a hard deck to play, dude. TLSG was playing this. I don't remember the creator's name of this, but this is a very hard Hella deck to play. Not like the other ones that are kind of just no-brainers. This one you need to put some effort into. This has Blade, Gambit, Corvus Glaive, Jubilee, Ghost Rider, Blink, Legion, Gore, Hela, Odin, Magneto, and the Infinite. So you're seeing here, you don't have a lot of discarding cards, right? Your only discard cards are Blade, Gambit, and Corvus. You're not discarding a whole lot. So it's not like you have all the Lady Sifs and all that other kind of stuff in there. You don't. But you have a whole bunch of different plays in here that could win you games. You have a Ghost Rider Infinite play that you can make. You have a Blink into Hela, which could bring back a Magneto and an Infinite, or even an Odin, which can hit could possibly hit Jubilee and make that activate a couple more times, and maybe hit a Gambit, and you're going to get a Gambit to destroy your opponent's cards. You can get a Gore out on the last turn, which, you know, your opponent might be playing a lot of unreveals too, along with yours. So this is just crazy all over the place, but it for the player who created it does really well. And I was watching TLSG play with it today. You again, it's not the kind of a Hella deck where you got to fall asleep and win. And it's not that kind. It's a very, very different one. But it's fun and it works pretty well. So I'm not going to say this is a meta breaking deck. It is not probably going to win you a ton of games unless you really have it mastered, like the guy who did make it. But Hela always seems to come back. She always makes a comeback. And yeah, this one is floating around the meta, but it's a fun way to play. It's very different, and it'll keep you on your toes. Surfer Galacta. I am not a Surfer fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm sure I've seen this around a lot, and a lot of people are playing it. It is Nova, Forge, Brood, Surfer, Killmonger, Red Guardian, Crystals in this version. Now, this is from KM Best Decks. Crystals in this, Hope Summers, Sebastian Shaw, Copycat, Absorbing Man, and Galacta. So just your standard run-of-the-mill. You want to get a huge Brood. I built up a huge Sebastian Shaw, and, you know, it's probably just going to win you a lot of games. This is another one of those decks like Discard. I never get the right cards at the right time. I don't seem to ever get the Brood early enough on. I don't get Sebastian Shaw usually early in a game. I just don't get enough of the good cards in this deck. I always end up getting Nova late and other cards early, and I just don't get a lot of the cards that I need to make this deck go. But I know a lot of people that play Surfer. They play it consistently. Ben Roller, one of the biggest Surfer fans I know, and plays Surfer a lot. But I am not one of those guys. But this deck is out there, and a lot of people are indeed playing it. And if they do get that combo with Galacta on the Brood, it's a big, big Brood you're going to have out there that you're going to have to deal with, and probably will just outwin you a lane. This deck can just outpower you. So Galacta G-Man. Now this is from Safety Blades. So it's a Safety Blades list. This is Agony, Nico Minoru, Zabu, Medusa, Hulkbuster, Phastos, Scarlet Spider, Galacta, Gwenpool, Symbiote Spider-Man, Namora, and Galactus. Your big thing here is you just want to make an immense Galactus. You want to get Agony on the lane, maybe Hulkbuster the Agony, then maybe use then get Galacta out. Okay, then you want to play a Symbiote Spider-Man into Agony. How many points is that already? So that's 7, 9 plus the Hulkbuster. That's 12. You're already gonna have a 12-point Symbiote Spider-Man. And then you can maybe use Namora on it as well. Make him a 17, and then play your Galactus on him last turn and get a 23-point Galactus. I mean, it's insane, right? And Gwenpool might even make the Galactus bigger. So that's what you're all about in this deck. This is a deck, again, you're gonna just have fun playing. It's all about fun. And, you just want to build up that immense Galactus. You can win other ways. You can win with the Scarlet Spider if you just happen to build him up instead with the Galacta. So there's other ways you can win besides the big Galactus, but that's in essence what you're trying to do here. And that is obviously from Safety Blade. Safety Blade also did this one. This is a lockdown deck. Now, I used a lot of this. I played this one a lot. I heard Lauren Whatever saying she used it on their pod, and I use this a lot too to get up to this deck got me up to about 87, 88, and then it stopped working as much. But this is Nebula, Hydra Bob, Shadow King, Daredevil, Jeff, Nocturne, Luna Snow, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel. Of course, she's Ms. Marvel in this comic book cover, but Captain Marvel, Galacta, Professor X, Alioth, and Magneto. This one, you have no tech. You have no tech in this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I replaced a card in here with Shadow King to give me some tech in the deck. It doesn't normally have tech. In Safety's version, Shadow King is not in the deck. Nocturne, yes, can give you some tech with getting rid of locations, but other than that, there is no tech in here. Your only tech really is Professor X. You want to get that lockdown happening in at least one lane. So you want to put the Nebula in one lane, the Hydra Bob in one lane, get good priority going. And then you have the Jeff you can move around, the Nocturne you can move around. You have Captain Marvel that can move. You have Magneto that can move as well and move things as well. So the Professor X, you want to get that out. You want to get that locked in, and then you want to just win games with your big cards. So you want to win games with the Magneto, big Magneto, like a 15-point Magneto or a 13-point Alioth at the very end, and that's the way you do it. But as I got on in the progress on ladder, I was seeing that people were just getting too much power down. Like a Surtur deck will smash this deck because you're just going to get too much power down, and the lockdown with Professor X is going to be nothing. So, or move decks. Move decks will just waste you with this because they don't care about Professor X. But this deck got me up pretty far. So there's that one if you enjoyed Professor X. This one is from KM. On his list, this is Zabu, Hydra Bob, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, of course, Jeff, U.S. Agent, Cosmo, Luke Cage, Copycat, Captain Marvel, Galacta, Anti-Venom, and Claw. So this is just a lot of good tech here. You got the Zabu to get your 4s out. So you can get the Galacta out a little bit early. You've just got a lot of move. You've got a mover in Jeff and in here that you can move around. You got Kate Bishop with the arrows. You got a U.S. Agent, so very good tech against bigger decks. You've got Cosmo, which is also very good tech in the meta right now to stop the on reveals. Luke Cage in here to prevent you from getting toxic to death. Copycats, of course, in here as well to copy a card. And Agent Venom can get you one of your cards for 0. And you've got Claw. In many cases, will surprise people and win a lane. So again, just a mid-range deck, but very, very good. Very, very good with Galacta in there. This is the one that took me to infinite. Arishem. This is Loki, Shadow King, Cable, Mobius, which won me a lot because of all the negative decks that are out there playing with gore. Agent Coulson, Shang-Chi, Galacta, Legion, Mockingbird, Alioth, Magneto, and Arishem. This is the one that got me to Infinite. So it worked very well. It got me there pretty quickly. And some of the cards I never even really saw much. I didn't see my Shadow King much at all. I was winning with just some of the random cards I was getting generated by Agent Coulson. Also just the randomly generated cards I was getting from the game. Hardly ever saw my Mockingbird. I don't really even recall. I got Alioth a lot. I remember the Magneto a lot. I hardly ever saw my Mockingbird. I've scammed games a lot with Legion. And yeah, so the stolen card from Cable and the Agent Coulson cards a lot of times are the ones I won with. And then when I would get that first turn Loki, I was just playing their decks, and that's just your same old Loki situation. You're playing their decks better than you are, or rather better than they are. So yeah, easy enough to explain. And yeah, so that's the deck that got me Infinite. There's a new High Evo list out. This is interesting. This one has Luna Snow. This is Sunspot, Nebula, Misty Knight, White Widow, Armor, Red Guardian, Cyclops, Luna Snow, High Evolutionary, Red Hulk, She-Hulk, and Hulk. This was shown on TLSG's. I'm not sure whether he created it, but it was shown in his stream. The armor is very interesting because the armor is there for you to White Widow into because then they can't get rid of it. But also, you could Luna Snow into the armor and you keep your cubes. So your cubes never go away. So you can Luna Snow into the armor and you constantly have the energy cheats and you can get that Red Hulk, She-Hulk, and Hulk out pretty darn early. And of course, this is all High Evo. So the Hulk is going to grow. And of course, you're going to have the little guys like Sunspot and Nebula that can just scale. Misty helps that too. Red Guardian just there to shoot down any cards they might have that you need to get rid of, like a Dracula. And then, of course, Cyclops is just going to pew into the lanes over and over again. So yeah, it's interesting, and it's got enough big power in there that it just does well, and it showcases Luna. And you know what? Luna's pretty good. Luna's pretty good. I don't hate the card. I think the card is actually a pretty good card. So Luna is in there also. All right, so that is my weekend snap. We went over some of the variants and things like that, and of course some decks as well, and my climb to Infinite. Okay. This was recommended to me by Snap Variants for my weekly top 5 this week. And it is and this fits with my music theme too, because man, favorite artists. This time though, it's favorite artists of Marvel Snap. So these are my 5 favorite artists in the Marvel Snap game, right? So let's celebrate some artwork, shall we? This is Sean Crystal, better known as Ink Pulp. And he's done several Snap cards already. And man, his art is insane. I love this Mr. Fantastic. It is amazingly cool. And I wish the card was better so I could play this. But oh my God, with the background border and that little time space thing going on in back of him and the arms all stretched all the way out. This is just a fantastically drawn card. And Ink Pulp's art is awesome. I absolutely love it. So great job to Sean, and just an amazingly done card by Sean Crystal. I think I have another one by him. Oh yeah, right here. The Living Tribunal, man, with the close-up of the faces. Oh, so good. This is a spotlight variant, and love the colors of the I-beams coming out there of the middle one and the green underneath. And again, this is an Ink Pulp variant too. So amazing variants there from Ink Pulp, who is definitely one of my favorite artists in Marvel Snap. Next, we're going to go to Peach Momoko. Peach Momoko, who's doing comic books now, amazing artist. And this is one of my favorite variants in this entire game. This is the Orca Jeff. And that's had to be inked, right, with the black and white and the white crackle background. Amazing, and just an amazingly drawn card by Peach Momoko. Just absolutely awesome. I absolutely love it. And look at this Ghost Rider, guys. Oh, my God. There's so much detail in this. From the flames on his head to the spikes on his wrists and his knuckles that are bent over, and then the bike front with the skull on the front of the bike with the teeth coming down and the flames going up, and then the chains all over the place. Oh my! This is just had to have the flame border. I had to put the flame border on this. Just absolutely insane. And Peach is just awesome. I love her artwork. I'm reading some comics that she's doing right now, and I would suggest you guys do too. And also, by the way, many of these artists, are doing art and stuff for the game, but they're also doing commission art as well. Check out their stuff on Twitter. I tell anyone to do that. Go check out their Twitter handles and wherever else they may be. If they're doing comic books, give them a little support by reading those books. And yeah, if you want to get some cool commissioned art, go and check out some of their artwork. Dan Hipp, I know, does artwork that he sells on his websites and stuff from time to time. So definitely check them out. All right, next up, Dan Hipp. Speaking of which, the Dan Hipp man thing. Oh my God, look at how his body just bursts out of that. Look at how his body is just bursting out of there, and he's got a little mushroom things growing on him there. And I love Dan Hipp. Dan Hipp's art always just makes me smile, man. It always just makes me smile. Brings me joy. And I love it. I know Glazer loves his Dan Hipps, man. In all his videos, he Dan Hipps out his decks. I love Dan Hipp, and I love this. And I love how his monster creatures burst out of the sides. His Werewolf by Night's the same thing. But this is, man thing. I love this variant. Absolutely love this variant. And how about his Agatha? Oh man, it's old woman Agatha from the comics holding a cat. This is right out of a Fantastic Four comic. And the oversized, giant-sized Fantastic Four comic the Fantastic Four took Franklin Richards to her for her to babysit. She comes to the front door holding a cat, and she's the old spinster lady with the white hair. Fantastic, man, just absolutely fantastic. And another great Dan Hipp's art, like I said, just so good. And I'm so glad he's doing new cards. We just got 2 new cards from him recently, Nocturne and Athena. And they just Dan Hipp just does tremendous. I just love the color, and I love the art, the faces and stuff like that. It's just so much fun. His art is just so much fun. Max Grech, Galactus, the pointing Galactus. This one is like the worst one to beat somebody with, because when he goes into his animation, he's literally pointing at the face. So it's like, yeah, I got you, man, I got you. I Galactus you. And he's pointing at the other person. So I love this. This is Max Grech does really cool art. This is one of the newer Galactus cards to come out, and he still has some more artwork coming out. In fact, Nick the Greek Geek and my show, we are going over some of the variants, and Max Grech does have some new ones coming out. So for you Max Grech fans, he's got some new artwork coming. And look at how about this one? What a throwback to the comics this is. The big, bulky-chested Captain America. I mean, this goes back to the days of like the 90s comics. I'm going to look this up because I have to remember. I'm never going to remember the artist's name. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. I know I'm not going to remember his name, but I will find it. There's Rob Liefeld, man. I mean, look at this. Look how close these are. Look at him sticking out with that big, humongous chest like Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld just drew weird stuff, man. Like he was so disproportionate, but the big chest sticking out there, like the muscles just very disproportionate. And then and then you see, but that is what the Grech tribute is to that, and I love it. It's a piece of comic book history. So I absolutely love that. I think it's awesome. Max Grech with amazing art. And Kim Jacinto, man, this Electro is my favorite Electro. It's an Ultimate Electro, which I bought. And man, look at the split on this sucker. Gold border with the green crackle. I mean, perfect. Just a perfect split on this, and I think it's the coolest looking Electro card. Electro, always one of my favorite Spider-Man villains. I love this look from the time I first saw him in the 60s comic books up to now, and this is just an amazing art piece from Kim Jacinto. And then lastly, Kim's other masterpiece, man, Apocalypse. Holy, this looks so damn good, man. Like this looks right out. Look, it should be right in X-Men 97, doesn't it? I mean, with the energy he's using and the rocks and stuff on the outside, and then just the eye beams and stuff coming out of it just looks so amazing split. But this is still my favorite Apocalypse to this day, and I got this in one of the most early bundles that there was in this game. But so good. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That is my top 5 for the week. My artists are Kim Jacinto, Max Grech, Dan Hipp, Ink Pulp, and also Peach Momoko. Now, that is not to say that there aren't other great ones, because I enjoy all of them. I enjoy all of them. I enjoy Rian Gonzalez did the newest Galacta variant that you get on the track that I talked about earlier. There are just so many artists that are doing such an amazing job. So again, like I said, please support them. Because again, this is not their only job. A lot of them do commission pieces. A lot of them do pieces for other things, comic books and stuff like that. So please get out there and support the artists. They do just a tremendous job for this awesome game that we play. So moving on to Comics Corner time. It is time to talk about, and of course we did talk a little bit about PENI PARKER earlier, but this is all about PENI PARKER this week in Comics Corner. So let's get started, shall we? And there is the card. We have PENI PARKER right here. She is a 2/3. On reveal, add a spider to your hand. When this merges, you get +1 energy in next turn. So we get a +1 energy. Now, what I don't know, because I didn't experiment with this yet, I think it only gives you the energy when it merges with PENI, because I did merge it with a wave, because I had a wave in the same lane as her, and it merged with the wave, and I did not get the energy, unless I just missed it. But I think it only gives you the +1 energy when it merges with PENI. So I'm going to try it again, and I'll let you guys know, but I think that's the case. If I'm wrong, let me know, but I think that is the case. So, but yeah, like I said, so far, she's been pretty fun. And there's the spider. It's a 3/3. On reveal, merge with one of your cards here. You can move that card next turn. So that was how I ended up getting the, he became a 3/8 wave that I was then able to move on the very next turn. So yeah, that is PENI PARKER, and that's what she does in the game. The movement thing is cool, and the energy cheats is always a good thing, right? Always a good thing. PENI PARKER is a superhero appearing in Marvel Comics, created by writer and musician Gerard Way. Gerard Way. Do you know what band he's from? Do you know? We'll get into it in a little bit. And artist Jake Wyatt. She's an alternative version of Spider-Man from an Evangelion-inspired universe, piloting a physically powered mech suit originally piloted by her father, known as the Spider, partially controlled by a radioactive spider named Spider that also shares a psychic link with her. The teenage PENI has been fighting daily since she was 9 years old. And there you can see her in the picture here in the comics. That is PENI standing on top of the spider armor underneath her. PENI PARKER and Spider from the cover of Edge of Spider-Geddon #2, and that is from October 2018 by Jake Wyatt. So if you want to go check that out, you can probably do that on Marvel Unlimited. Her first appearance was Edge of the Spider-Verse, which you'll see the comic cover in a little bit to that. In October 2014, Edge of Spider-Verse #5. Gerard Way, as I mentioned, he's in a band, pretty famous one too. Jake Wyatt is the artist, so Gerard Way wrote it. PENI PARKER is her alter ego. She's from Earth 14512. She has spider sense, genius intellect, psychic connection with Spider, superhuman strength, psychic connection with PENI. And then that's a Spider, of course, is superhuman strength also, and a psychic connection with PENI. So that is the abilities. Both PENI PARKER and Spider have made limited appearances in media, with their most prominent being in the animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018 and its sequel Across the Spider-Verse 2023. Voiced by Kimiko Glenn, and in the video game Marvel Rivals 2024, voiced by Sally Amaki. So she is a playable character in Rivals. I saw Binks playing her last night on his stream. Sometime after completing work on his debut solo album, Hesitant Alien, following the hiatus of his band My Chemical Romance, so there you go, that's the band he's in, comic writer and musician Gerard Way was contacted by Marvel Comics editor Nick Lowe, asking if he was interested in creating a custom Spider-Man for the then upcoming Spider-Verse comic series. Lowe, a fan of Way's prior comics work, had previously approached Way about an X-Men annual series, which ultimately never materialized, enamored by the idea that he could do whatever he wanted without fear of being burdened by any prior continuity. Way ultimately agreed to the offer and began working with comic artist Jake Wyatt on his new creation. Way took the basic concepts of Spider-Man and then looked deeper into it while conceptualizing PENI, recalling in a 2014 interview with Rolling Stone, "I thought about the radioactive spider. What if it was more than just a bite? What if a bite was a psychic link and the spider stayed part of the story? That brought up a little girl who loses her dad, Then I drew the spider suit. According to Way, spider is comprised of 3 vital components: a pilot, a machine, and a radioactive sentient spider acting as one half of the brain that makes it all work. Way opted to make his character female, as he was more interested in creating female characters, stemming from both his past and his prior work, the Umbrella Academy. So he did the Umbrella Academy as well. He also decided to include Daredevil in his story, deciding if I'm only going to get to write one Marvel comic, I'm going to put Daredevil in it as well. So there you go. He's a Daredevil fan. Penny and Spider's comics were largely inspired by mecha anime, with Neon Genesis Evangelion singled out as an influence. As an Easter egg, the main characters of Evangelion, Shinji Ikari, Rei Ayanami, Asuka Langley, Soryu, and Kaworu Nagisa make cameo appearances as Penny's classmates in her premiere issue, along with Simon from Gurren Lagann and Kay from Dirty Pair. So there you go. Some crossover stuff there. Penny debuted in Edge of Spider-Verse #5, released on October 15, 2014. Spider story was continued in the Spider-Geddon comic book, Edge of Spider-Geddon #2 by Alberto Albuquerque, released in August 29, 2018. The same year, Penny and Spider appeared in the animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The filmmakers, who initially considered a different Asian American Spider-Woman, Cindy Moon, Silk, for the film, chose Penny as her unique abilities acted as a contrast against the film's other characters. So that's cool. They were going to pick Silk. At the suggestion of production designer and future Across the Spider-Verse co-director Justin Thompson, Penny was given a Sailor Moon-inspired redesign after the filmmakers, including director Bob Persichetti, found her initial design iffy. I hope that's right. In 2022, Eisner Award-winning comic author Ken Nimura created Penny Parker after school as part of the Spider-Verse Unlimited series exclusive to Marvel Unlimited, Marvel's digital comic service. The 6-part story follows a younger Penny delving into her relationship with her uncle Ben, how she feels about her father, and her struggles to juggle both school and being a superhero. Also going into depth about her struggles to fit in with her fellow students due to her responsibilities as a hero. Nomura largely conceived of the story as an entry point to the character for veterans and newcomers. Penny's father acted as the original pilot of the Spider Mecha, in which he protected New York from crime and other dangers. After her father passed, Penny is approached by her father's handlers, Aunt May and Uncle Ben, who force her to become the new pilot of Spider, releasing the sentient spider that controls part of the suit into a room with her to bite and bond with her. Ooh, that's kind of scary. A process they describe as being incredibly painful. That's even more scary. Soon after being bitten, Penny becomes a new protector of the city on Earth 14512. 5 years later, a more solemn and matured 14-year-old Penny battles her universe's version of Mysterio, an obsessed fanboy of hers, while listening to music to help her focus. Penny eventually teams up with Dee, her universe's version of Daredevil, who had known her father, and tells her she is too young to feel tired, as she says she is. Though noting he felt her father's use of Spider caused it so that even though through the machine, you could feel a sadness, like something was missing from him. Although seeming pretty cool to battle a group of criminals given up by Mysterio, is a fan of numerous teen pop magazines about Penny, before being approached by Spider-Ham and Old Man Spider to join the Spider Army to fight the Inheritors. Agreeing to join them, Penny states, "We're called Spider, and we protect the city. Like my father, a soldier who died in service of his people, we will be this until terminal failure." Edge of Spider-Geddon. 2 years after the events of the Spider-Verse, in her home reality, now a 16-year-old, Penny is approached by a girl named Addie Brock, asking if she was the pilot of Spider and her experiences as a Spider pilot. Penny ignores her, but Addie follows up by saying she is not as special as she thinks, for clarifying that she doesn't mean as an insult and just wants to talk to her. At home, Penny tries to talk to Ben and May about being special, but she has worries get pushed aside, which causes her to be annoyed and expresses her feelings of sadness toward the fact that she isn't acknowledged as she should be. While improving the Spider's web shooters, she notices Addie walking in the base and follows her, only to find another mech suit similar to the Spider, but in black and powered by a sim engine called Venom. Okay, I kind of figured they were going there, because that Addie was saying she wasn't as special as she thinks. So I kind of bet you there was kind of a Venom thing. With Addie as his pilot. Addie's character design having been previously used for one of Ben's and May's tech people in Edge of Spider-Verse, retroactively making that her first appearance. Penny becomes furious at Ben and May for not telling her about this when a kaiju-like creature named Morbius starts to drain the city's electrical energy. Penny goes after it as Spider. Television. Spider makes a non-speaking cameo in an Ultimate Spider-Man episode, Return to the Spider-Verse Part 4, as one of several alternate reality Spider-Men that the villainous Wolf Spider took hostage to siphon their powers before the Prime Spider-Man, Kid Arachnid, and Spider-Woman arrived to save them. And then, of course, in film, Penny Parker and Spider appear in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018, with the former voiced by Kimiko Glenn. Penny is presented as a perky and energetic individual, while Spider is a one-piece capsule cockpit with a dome-shaped one-way visor. Penny Parker and Spider appear in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That provides Penny with a HUD-style view, the visor does, magnetically manipulated appendages and various tools in its fingers. After arriving in Miles Morales' universe along with Spider-Ham and Spider-Man Noir, due to the Kingpin's machinations, Penny and Spider join forces with them, among other Spider people, to return to their respective home universes. While Spider is severely damaged by the Scorpion, Penny rescues the radioactive Spider within it before returning to her universe to rebuild. Penny and Spider appear in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as well, with the former voiced again by Kimiko Glenn. As of this film, Penny has successfully rebuilt Spider with its design now resembling its comics counterpart and joined Miguel O'Hara's Spider Society. Glenn will reprise her role as Penny Parker in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So there you go. She'll be back in the next one. And these are just some comic book pictures. You can see Spider primarily here, the mechanized robot, all in red and black, decked out. He's climbing up some kind of metal mechanism here from the books. And you can see more of the gears and stuff of Spider on the legs. There is Penny in class, I would guess. She's in some sort of school there, wearing a black vest and what looks like a shirt and tie. So it's got to be in school, I would imagine. And there you see a Spider-Ham along with Penny and the Spider armor there in that particular picture. And then this is the cover of Edge of Spider-Verse number 5. So this, of course, is done by Herring, Wyatt, and Gerard Way. And this is the first time you will see Spider and Penny in a comic book. So check out Edge of the Spider-Verse if you have not done so yet. You will find a lot of these characters that are now in the Spider-Verse movies from Sony have originated in this story. So there you go, guys. And there's Gerard Way in My Chemical Romance. So there's a picture of him. Very talented individual, right? Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. So we are moving into the home stretch here. And we're going to get into a little MCU Minute. Now, let me just preface this by saying there have been new developments in a few things in the MCU that did not happen prior to me getting the slides ready for this. So I'm going to go over them with you, and they are some pretty big developments here in some of the announcements. So let me get to those first, and then we'll go over the stuff that I have in the slides. So the first one is a big one. Chris Evans is returning to, and that's not it. Chris Evans is returning for Avengers Doomsday. So Chris Evans will be back in the MCU. He is coming back for Avengers Doomsday, and he is co-starring along with Robert Downey Jr. The Wrap broke the news on this. He is set to return in Marvel Cinematic Universe with the actor joining the cast of Avengers Doomsday from Marvel Studios. Evans will be involved in some capacity, but the extent and exact nature of his role is unknown. Evans stated starred as Steve Rogers. Of course, we know that across all the Avengers films. He sunsetted his Steve Rogers character in Endgame, but did return to the MCU this summer as Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine. So yes. So the question going around with that is, the fact that the Wrap said he co-stars tells me a lot of people are kind of thinking this is going to be something small, like some kind of smaller, like a hologram or some kind of role. I don't think so. Now, some others have said he may come back as a bad guy to join up with Robert Downey's God Emperor Doom. I can see that happening. Now, a few years back, they came out with a version of Captain America in the comics that was a Hydra Captain America. I don't know if they'll go there because that spawned a lot of controversy, that comic did. I don't know if they'll do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of Robert Downey Jr.'s sidekicks. Now, God Emperor Doom in the Secret War comic had Doctor Strange as his basically kind of sidekick. He was married to Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange was. So maybe they're going to just change some things around. Now, Chris Evans could be also playing an anchor being, because there's rumors going around that Doom is going to be trying to kill off anchor beings in other universes, which would make sense, because if he wants to take over those other universes or get rid of those other universes, we all found out in Deadpool and Wolverine that if they do that, and if they kill off the anchor being, the universe goes bye-bye. So he could end up being just another version of Cap on another planet that Doom is maybe offing as part of the anchor beings that he's killing off. Because I would imagine that Chris Evans would certainly have been an anchor being. He could have been the one in the MCU that we're used to. But I can imagine that could be something too, that maybe he will just be in a bit of a fight scene against Doctor Doom on one of these other universes, and Doom will just kill him off. Or he could be an ally as a bad version of Captain America and be an ally of Doctor Doom. So we'll have to see. But that came as a surprise. That was a little bit of a shocker to everybody, that Chris Evans was indeed coming back for Avengers Doomsday. Now, the other most recent announcement was due to the Sony MCU verse. Apparently, Craven, now this article is from The Wrap. As Craven hunts for an audience, Sony's Marvel Universe takes final bow for now. So the lights were on, but nobody came. This is from Humberto Gonzalez in The Wrap. As Brazil's prestigious Comic-Con experience on Sunday, Sony Pictures surprise panel for Craven the Hunter, the studio's latest non-Spider-Man Marvel movie, played 2 rows of empty seats. According to an individual in attendance, there were no stars, not that many fans, just silence where superhero hype should have been. The half-empty panel presentation of a $110 million budgeted anti-hero movie at one of the world's largest pop culture events reflected the Sony Marvel franchise's diminishing profile outside of the mainline Spider-Man movies, starring Tom Holland. While Venom: The Last Dance launched on more than 4,000 movie screens in October, Craven the Hunter will debut this Friday on just 3,000, a stark 25% reduction. So, reduced amount in theaters. I hope this is true. I hope that this is true. It is said that they are going to be focusing primarily on Spider-Man 4 going forward, and they are also going to be focusing on the Into the Spider-Verse stuff as well. I hope that this spells the end for the Sony stuff. I hope it does. I wasn't planning on seeing Craven. I did watch the other ones. I watched Morbius. I watched Madam Web, but these are just bad. They're just bad. And I saw the Rhino in the trailer, and he looks bad. I hope that this is true and this ends. I want no more part of it. I am done with the Sony movies, and I hope this is true, and I hope they are focusing on, and maybe they're working with Marvel more. Who knows? They said they struck some kind of a deal with each other for Tom Holland's services and the contract with him and stuff. So maybe they're going to work together more often. But I hope that this is the end of the Sony universe, whatever they want to call it, of all that garbage that they tried to get a Sinister Six going and all that kind of junk that they did that just never panned out. I hope this is it. I hope this is absolutely the end of all of the Sony stuff. I really do. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Catherine Hahn said she would be thrilled to reprise her MCU role after Agatha All Along's Golden Globe nominated. Congrats to Catherine Hahn. She deserves it. She got nominated for a Golden Globe for Agatha. I love it. Just in case it wasn't clear, Catherine Hahn isn't looking to say goodbye to Agatha anytime soon. The actress, this is from Deadline, by the way. The actress celebrated her very first Golden Globes nomination Monday morning, receiving a nod in the Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Series, Musical or Comedy category for her role as the titular witch in Marvel's Agatha All Along. I love that. Great for her, man. I think that's awesome. She continued to say, I think everyone would be thrilled to come back, of course, in any capacity. It was a very life-altering, deep experience in Atlanta, Georgia, with just this very small cast on a soundstage day after day after day. Han's nomination is one of 2 for Marvel at this year's Globes, along with Deadpool and Wolverine for cinematic and box office achievement. It's not every day that Marvel's received recognition for major award shows, particularly in acting categories. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good for her. I'd love to see her win it. I think she did a tremendous job, and I loved Agatha. So good, very good. What did Ryan Reynolds say about Deadpool in the MCU? He told Andrew Garfield for Variety's Actors on Actors, I see Deadpool as a supporting character, much more than he is a main character or at the center. We center him sometimes because they want. That's what they want. But you can't center him unless you take everything away from him. You have to create a situation where he's so much the underdog, and I don't think I can do that again. If he comes back, I think he's going to be in someone else's movie. Channing Tatum is so excited to play Gambit. I would happily be the 5th banana in his movie or anybody else's. So that's interesting. That's interesting that Ryan Reynolds is saying that, and he goes on a little more here. But it's interesting that he's saying that maybe he doesn't want to necessarily star in his own films anymore. And but look, it's not saying it's going to be the end of him. They're going to throw boatloads of money at him. They know how beloved this character is. He'll be back in probably an X-Men film or even a Spider-Man film when he could team up hilariously with Spider-Man like he does in the comics. He'll be back, but maybe he just won't be starring in his own anymore. Reynolds also said, my feeling is that the character works very well in 2 ways. One is scarcity and surprise. It's been 6 years since the last one. And part of the reason is that it swallows my whole life. You can't take your hand off the stick all the way through development and post-production into marketing and promo. Then you I have 4 kids, and I don't ever want to be on a first-name basis with any of them. I don't ever want to be absentee and miss stuff. I kind of die inside when I see their face and they have a competition or a sports thing or something and I missed it. So I don't know what the future Deadpool will be. But Sean Levy and I made the movie to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and be a complete experience instead of a commercial for another one. I think it's important sometimes to make space for a movie to just, and I didn't get the last thought there, but that's cool of him. He wants to be a dad, and I understand that. I grew up and I missed, my kids grew up and I missed so much of their stuff because of my profession. I worked in retail, a lot of weird hours and stuff, and I missed a lot of what they did. And I could totally see, an actor like this, you're doing movies, you're on a set for like 6-7 months at a clip, and you're missing a lot. So I can see that. And maybe, maybe we've seen the last, guys, of Deadpool, his own Deadpool movies. Maybe he'll just come in and cameo, do some cameos in, like I said, Spider-Man or X-Men or whatever. We'll see him again. But I'm wondering now, though, whether he's going to be involved in Secret War. I would kind of have thought he would be. Of course, he probably wouldn't say here, but I kind of thought he would be. That little stretch of the universe that he's in now, I kind of thought would maybe have been on Battle World. So we'll see. But yeah, you got to respect him for this. They could do boatloads more of these, and they would all make a boatload of money. So, but you gotta shout him out for and respect him for his decision here. This one is about the Fantastic Four, and your first look at the gray hair on Reed Richards. Oh my God. Pascal's hair is dyed gray on the sides. Thanks to a few pictures shared by via X by user Pascal Archive. MCU fans around the world can now see exactly what Pascal's hair will look like in the movie. As many likely know, Reed Richards' hair is just as iconic as his Fantastic Four symbol he wears on his chest. Throughout comic and film adaptation history, Reed has sported of course, that hair, the gray parts of his hair. So it is indeed iconic. And you can see that Pedro Pascal does have the gray on the side. So you got to make that MCU thing happen, right? I love it. I'm beyond excited for this film. Lindsay Lohan, rumored to be joining the MCU in an unknown role. According to Marvel Scooper account, Marvel Leaks 22, Lindsay Lohan may be about to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While the report doesn't outright say whether that will ultimately come to fruition, it is billed as an update, suggesting that if true, some progress may have been made during potential discussions between the two. Now, you always take these rumor leak things with a grain of salt. Sometimes they'll happen, sometimes not. Just depends on, and there's a lot of them out there. So maybe Lindsay Lohan will end up in Marvel. We'll see. But there you go, guys. that is it for the MCU Minute. A lot of stuff going on in the MCU. We've got a lot of MCU films coming out, as I have said many, many times on the show. We got the, by the way, I'm going to be, and I talked about this on my show today, which the video could be coming out a little bit later on, as I said earlier, with Nick the Greek Geek. They are... One second, guys. I will be right back. I got to let my wife in. I'll be right back. Sorry about the pause. Sorry. I'm on my thing. That's about as funny as a thing you'll hear on this podcast. I locked my wife out of the house. Good job, me. But yeah, so yeah, but where was I? So yeah, check out the pod with Nick the Greek Geek. We have talked about the new cards and the new set that's coming out, the Captain America set that they will have out in February, which was revealed today in the data mines. So we talked about those cards in there. And I'm sure we will be going over them in depth in future shows, but we did go over a lot of the cards and some of the variants and stuff like that. So check that all out. That should be out a little bit later tonight. And I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of previews on this show in the future on all of those cards as well. A lot of really cool stuff in that. And let's see. Let me just take a look at them really quickly here. I love the card back, by the way. It's the movie poster for the Hulk with the Hulk's hand grabbing Cap's shield. Love that. And then, of course, we're getting Cobra, who is a 3/6. You can only play this at a location where your opponent has exactly one card. We have Joaquin Torres, Falcon, 3/3. Ongoing, the on-reveal abilities of your one-cost cards here happen twice. It's a very good bounce card. We're getting Diamondback, a 3/3. Ongoing as well. Enemy cards here afflicted with negative power have an additional -2 power, so very good for a toxic deck. Captain America, who is Falcon, of course, Captain Sam Wilson, Captain America. Game start, add Cap's shield to a random location. Ongoing, you can move Cap's shield. So, and do you want to know what Cap's shield is? It is a 1/1. By the way, Falcon's a 2/3. Joaquin is a 3/3. Cap's shield is a 1/1. Ongoing, this can't be destroyed. Give your Cap +2 power when this moves to Cap's location. So this is kind of neat, right? Because you can move, it's ongoing. You can move Cap's shield. So you can constantly move this thing around. So you're constantly making Cap better by moving the shield to him. So I think a lot of people kind of wanted to see this card, like a shield card. And it's kind of a pretty cool ability. Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross is a 2/2. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power. Red Hulk. Love it. Synergy with Red Hulk. Gotta love it. Red Wing. I think that's Red Wing's a 1/2. On reveal, return one of your other one-cost cards here to your hand and give it +2 power. Bounce. I was gonna love that. And then we have Batroc the Leaper, who was in he was in. Oh my God, he was in a Cap movie, I believe. He was the guy who was jumping around on the boat when he was fighting Captain America. When a card moves, follow it to gain +2 power. So this is a good move card. So there are all the cards that came out that are coming with the new season, and that is the one that's going to happen in February of next year. And the season pass, of course, will be coming out with you got a Captain America variant in there, you got a Falcon variant in there, you got a Viper variant in there as well. The card backs, the border is a red, looks like a red sparkly border that's in there. And then, so that was revealed today in the data mines, along with some other stuff coming from the March season as well. So there you go, guys. A lot coming to Marvel Snap, as I had said there would be. And I said next year is going to be an exciting year for this game. I already mentioned earlier that Character Mastery is going to be coming out very soon. I'm excited for that. Now they're giving you, they've revealed new borders. They look like circuit boards. that they're going to be giving for Character Mastery too. So you're going to be able to really deck out those characters that you have all those cards for and make them look really unique, which I think is very cool. That's the way it kind of should be. So my Galactus is going to look badass. But I'm excited for that. I said I've been excited about that since that was datamined. So I'm very, very excited about that coming out. And just with all the films, with all the TV shows, with all the stuff like that, I'm sure Snap is going to get back on track and have a really, really good upcoming year. And yeah. So guys, that's going to do it for me for this week. Other than the OTA review, which I'll be doing a short little thing for on Thursday. Probably a little short video on my YouTube channel or something along those lines to go over that really quickly with you all. And then, yeah, the 2 videos from myself and Nick the Greek Geek will also be out. So 4 different ways you could check out Snap Decisions, yours truly, this coming week and the week in Snap. Also, there is a new tournament in the Snap Judgments League going on, which is going to be one of their biggest ones ever. So go and sign up in their Discord and sign up for the tournament because they are a lot of fun. I haven't been in one for a little while, but I am going to play in this one. I haven't gotten to be in one as of late, but I will definitely be playing in this one for sure. So go and check that out as well as all the other pods, like I said at the beginning of the show, in our network. So, all right, guys, that is it. I hope that however you choose to play this game, you are enjoying doing so. And if not, there are plenty of other things out there that you should be enjoying, other games and other things like that. If you're playing Rivals, I hope you enjoy that as well. And yeah, I will be seeing you all on the next episode of Snap Decisions. And like I said, I'll be trying to see if I can get some more guests on soon. Red Eye Jedi definitely is on that list, and I'm trying to get the Kid Snap and No Big Deal back on at some point as well. So that's it. That is going to do it for me for this evening. Wherever you may be, please stay safe. Be kind to one another always, especially on the socials. And hopefully I will talk to you all on the next episode of Snap Decisions. If you're following this and watching me on YouTube, please make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment for me. I always love the comments. If you're listening on audio, please follow the pod wherever you may be listening, Spotify or Apple. Leave me comments on there too. I will always answer those. However you may be listening, thank you so much. I appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your week to listen to me. This is your Snap DJ, signing off.
If only